Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How y'all doing? How's everybody? Funneybone been looking at some stuff with Tisha Tale, and I know, and I've been telling y'all. Didn't I tell y'all that Diddy now they gonna take his money? Yeah, I told y'all. Federal government don't play people. They don't play. And Diddy over there crying about his sentence. He over there crying. He thought he's furious with his lawyers. He thought they promised him that he'd walk. Now he's too broke to file an appeal. Any kind of effective one, because y'all, listen, I told y'all, he's got all these civil trials. That $50 million he was offering for bail, that's all he got. Because they seizing his stuff as we speak. Diddy's life, I told y'all in the last video, Diddy's life is going to be flipped upside down. He's got a register now. He's a registered love offender. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And that is going to dramatically impact his life when he gets out. Dramatically. He can't be too close to a school. He can't be too close to a church. He can't be too close to nothing that involves children. Nothing. Plus, when he get out, he's got 5 years probation. That means every month he gonna have to pee in that little cup. He got to stay clean even when he gets out, and that's gonna be hard for Diddy. Hard. So people, you want to play master, and you said, I won't stop, can't stop. No, you can't stop, but you got stopped. You didn't stop, you got stopped. So maybe you ought to say that while you in prison. I got stopped. I told y'all this is just the beginning for Mr. Diddy. Just the beginning, people. And the beginning is going to start out rough. You know, I told y'all, you don't go to prison for certain charges. And I'm not talking about the Mann Act and all that stuff. I'm talking about all the testimonies they heard about what Mr. Diddy was doing with underage people. Underage kids. Not legal. So, everything he doing was not legal. And he better be glad that he got off all those RICO charges and all that stuff, because he should have been looking at way more time. In Funneybone's estimation, he should have been looking at way more time. So it is what it is. But I was looking at Tisha Tales, and I'm gonna let y'all listen at what she's saying. And I told y'all from the beginning, Diddy is in trouble. Those 5 years, we just hope it stay 5 years, because all these civil trials and all this stuff, he got some more lawsuits that's been added right before his sentencing. He had 2 new lawsuits. So do y'all believe Funneybone now? When Funneybone said the government, they're gonna take his money. And when they take his money, he can't file no appeals. He can't do nothing, because appeals cost a lot of money. So people, Mr. Diddy is in some bad trouble, really bad, and it's self-inflicted. So in my eyes, one down, a lot more to go. A lot more to go. But y'all take a listen.
Hey, what's up, you guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if your name is Sean Diddy Combs, people are saying, reporting that you are furious at your legal team. Y'all, get in here. We gotta talk. They're also saying that Diddy is anxious and depressed about the prison sentence. I mean, is anybody happy to go to prison? But more importantly, Diddy is not anxious and depressed about the prison. He's anxious and depressed about going broke. And this is said to have thrown a monkey wrench in his appeal plan. Y'all, sit down. We gotta talk, because, baby, it looks like this money train that Diddy is on is drying up. And he is begging quietly, this is what the streets are saying, for any of his high-powered friends that couldn't stand beside him in the courtroom to maybe let him hold 50,000, 5 million or more, so that he can go with his plea. Okay, you guys, we got into a lot, but let's break this down one at a time. All right. First of all, let's talk about that sentencing, right? Because as much as Diddy's team wanted to be like, he didn't have a speaking engagement, he had a speaking appearance, and they tried to spin it. You did have speaking engagements planned. Yep. And you had speaking engagements planned for that Monday. Yep. Now, why would he do something so stupid? Because in my mind, I'm like, that's just disrespectful to the court. Yep. It's like breaking up with someone and you got your new man across the street waiting to pick you up. It's just unnecessarily disrespectful. But why did he do that? They're saying that Diddy is actually furious with his legal team because they promised him that he would walk away with time served. Now, here's the thing. I think Diddy might have heard them wrong, because I don't think any lawyer of that caliber in any way would be like, absolutely 100%, you're going home. And even if they did
people, I think that Diddy's lawyers told him that they gave him the scenario what he's looking at. What's the best case scenario and what's the worst case scenario? I think Diddy took that and ran with it, because they told him you're probably looking at time served if it goes in your favor. You're probably looking at time served and plus a year or less. That's what Diddy was banking on. He took that from Agnifilio and them and ran with it. You see, he didn't run too far, don't you? Yeah, you your own worst enemy, bro. Your arrogance, cockiness, and all that stuff. Even when you was in court, you was up there trying to get Donald Trump to pardon you, going over the judge. Excuse me, y'all. Going over the judge. So, Mr. Diddy, now reality is setting in, like I told y'all it would. Reality is setting in for Mr. Diddy. He can't control the narrative, and it's killing him. And where he's going, he definitely ain't gonna be able to control the narrative. So y'all take a listen. It's pitiful, people. Pitiful.
Why would you believe them? You've allegedly spent somewhere between 10 and 20 million for the trial, pre-trial.
20 million.
Going forward, each lawyer had a retainer of at least $1 million.
Wow.
And the bigger ones had even more. And that was just the retainer, baby. They blew through that money. Diddy had about 7 lawyers plus their paralegals. His appeal lawyers, that's 3 more. Now you're up to 10. Easily retainers, 10 million off the bat, and that was on the low end, and that's not even counting billable hours. And Diddy has been fighting this thing for a while. Now you got what you paid for, because you could have been sitting there on RICO charges. You should be thanking God that you only got 3 years. But Diddy thinks he is a god. Yep. He thinks he is a king. So he's still, even though he cried in front of Judge Submarinian, I'll take any punishment you give me. Just let me see my kids.
You ain't got no choice.
And he said, all right, mofo, I'll show you some mercy. You got 4 years, right? And Diddy literally, his lawyers went outside and showed their patooties and said, this is a travesty. The judge was the 13th juror. Thank God, because, baby, the first 12, I don't think they got it right.
I know
anyway, right? Let's get back into this. Anyway, so Diddy is super, super, super upset. They literally said, and this is according to an Inquirer, they said Diddy's in total shock right now. A source tells the Inquirer that Diddy, who was sentenced to 50 months or more, right? 50 months and 5 years probation. Even though, side note, if I was Diddy, I would be worried about that 5 years probation more than anything, because let me tell you something, the federal government don't leave well enough alone. Diddy has addiction issues, right? And everybody knows you can get rugs in jail, and you're going to need something to get you through, and you did it for fun. You're going to come out and deal with the shame Because everybody knows what you're into. Yeah, you're going to have a few low-life losers,
Yeah.
right? Standing by you. But they
Yeah.
was losers to begin with. You didn't want to be associated with them. You wanted to be standing next to Ron Burkle, Jay-Z, the DNC, right? You wanted to be there with the community, speaking out. Being a civil, you wanted to be on some grown, sexy, respected mess. All these lowlifes defending you right now, you didn't even want them around you when you was out free. So you definitely don't want to be associated with them now. Okay, right? So, but then also, okay, he is into some mess. He likes the escorts. He likes the party life. For 5 years, you cannot have another freak off. Or if you do, they're going to have to turn into consensual freak offs. If you even step the wrong foot, raise a hand at someone, try to do anything illegal, all they got to do is go report you to the police, and baby, you are bye. See?
Let me iterate on that, y'all people. Diddy, the 5 years probation, that's going to be hard for Diddy. It's going to be hard for him. I'm telling y'all right now. Because when he gets out, it's going to be tempting for him to do that Tushi and all that stuff he was doing. Whatever they call it, that pink powder, whatever it is. Tushi, whatever they call it. Diddy is going to be drug tested every month when he gets out. And he won't be able to do too much of anything. I think all his stuff is going to be gone. His mansions, all that stuff. Everything Diddy owns is going to be gone. If the government had their way. And most of the time, they have their way. They make their way. So, yeah, Mr. Diddy, you don't open up a whole can of worms if you can't handle not one coming out the can. So, it is what it is. You shouldn't have been doing all that stuff that you were doing. Now, karma is a...
Here's the thing. People are coming down for Judge Aaron in the sentence, but y'all, the devil is in that 5 years probation. Because I think Diddy's going to be up to his old tricks. You know, I mean, hopefully these 3 years are enough to make him repent. But a lot of issues he has are like, they seem like compulsions. But, you know, time will tell. Time will tell, okay? So anyway, but that 5 years, baby, the government's going to be on his ass.
Yes.
Anyway, they said Diddy's in total shock right now. He really believed he'd get out with time served. His lawyers promised. Adds another source, noting that Diddy was so confident that he'd be a free man again that he booked a speaking gig for the week after a sentencing hearing. First of all, everybody's misquoting that. From what I heard sitting in court, it wasn't just one speaking engagement. He had a tour planned. And this is...
Well, he got a tour. He's going to tour the prison. That's his upcoming tour. When he's shackled and led in the front door, he processed in, and they assign him to his cell. Hopefully it's a cell block, and they got dorm style prison where they got like 15, 20 people in a dorm like area, and he get to serve his time like that. More than likely it's going to be something like that. So, I mean, and those 20, 25 people that he's going to be sharing with like he's doing now, going to be much worse than the ones he was sharing it with at NBC. Much worse people. And that couldn't have happened to a nicer creep.
He was going to write a book, make a movie, have a comeback. I would say throw a Madison Square Garden show, but to do what? Because didn't nobody buy the Love album? And they can't... And you saw what happened with the Bad Boy reunion tour. Ain't nobody coming to hear you sing Diddy. They was coming for everybody else on that Bad Boy reunion tour.
He can't sing. He can't do
nothing. Get this.
He can't sing.
We have...
Y'all, the thing about that, remember I told y'all in other videos that Diddy is not talented, to me. Not talented at all. So anything that he's having like that is gonna be
those he had in place.
Whoever his people are that's doing the tour, Bad Boys reunion is going. You can forget Mace. You can forget Mace being with him and agreeing to that. He's not gonna have no tour. Even if he was out, he ain't gonna have no tour. So it is what it is, Mr. Diddy. You were planning all this stuff. That's arrogance, people. You knowing that you finna be sentenced, but you think you finna get out so fast, so you gonna make it known that you having public appearances and you doing a reunion and all that stuff. Count your chickens before they hatch. Yeah. You count your chickens before they hatch, bro. And in this situation, they're not gonna hatch. It is what it is. Y'all finish listening at this food. Listen at this food crying and all this stuff. Ain't even crying now.
On hold? How about they just crumbled to dirt? They just covered for dirt. Now here's the thing. They're saying that Diddy is completely worried about running out of money, right? Because he has nearly 70 civil lawsuits. While his criminal suit, they're saying costs anywhere between 15 to 20 million in legal fees. This is what the New York Post reported. He's terrified of coming out of jail totally broke.
He will be.
Now here's the thing.
That's what they're aiming for.
I can see why. Because when you go for bail, the one thing a lot of people overlooked in that bail hearing, but if y'all are new to my channel, listen, let me catch y'all up, because if you aren't new to the channel, I've been talked about this. When you go on bail, you actually see what people's liquid assets are. Now, don't get me wrong. Diddy got 2 mortgages on that $30 million house in California. Star Island, both properties are worth like $50 million. A lot. He got that jet. He's renting it out. He got a few cars. Yes, he has assets. But anybody that with assets know assets cost money to maintain.
Yep.
And a lot of rich people lose everything because they buy stuff, but they don't have the liquid assets to maintain it.
Yep.
What are a person's liquid assets? Well, that's what Diddy needs right now to pay his lawyers, to fund his kids' lifestyle, to keep Miami and them on payroll. I mean, Miami says she's not single. She started taking like Instagram live calls from people in jail. I think she's trying to prep for her man to keep him afloat. Even though if you're putting this much effort into keeping Diddy's afloat and you calling it love, why don't you just work on your, like, go film some more episodes of Carisha, please. But you know, none of my business. Let's get back on Diddy, right? So Diddy needs money to keep everything afloat. He got 11 kids, according to him in court. He support all of them, right? He got cute little baby love. He got Dana. He got a lot of mouths to feed, right? The thing is, when he put up his bail, he only had $50 million to give in bail. And I know, hear me out, $50 million is a lot of money. I hope one day to have $50 million in my bank account. No Diddy. But the thing is, with big money, big assets come big bills. That $50 million is all the liquid cash that Diddy has. All of it. All the brand deals, all the endorsements, all the trademarks. Don't forget Diageo or whatever, the liquor company, they cut him off. Yep. Revolt, right? They cut him off too. Yep. All of his cash avenues, his everything has slowed down. So he got $50 million to make it work. Now out of that $50 million, he's already spent $20 million, roundabout, on legal fees. Now here's where it comes in. Is that appeal ever going to happen? Because I brought this up on live. Appeals take 2 years, usually on average, to get in front of a court. Diddy, once you add in time served and time off for good behavior, that's anywhere between 2 and 2.5 years that he'll end up serving, assuming he gets time off for good behavior, okay? They said for good behavior, you can take a year, take 2 months off of each year, so every year you count it as 10 months, right? So he'll end up serving somewhere between 20, 25 months, okay? Maybe up to 30 months. Okay, well actually, yeah, somewhere between 20 and 25 months. Okay, right? So here's the thing. you're already running low on cash. Because that $50 million was every penny you had. You still got to pay those mortgages on the house.
Mm-hmm.
You still got to pay the payments on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
You still got to pay the school tuition fees.
Yep.
You have to pay everything.
Yep.
So even though that, let's just say it's 20 million, that 50 million, you got to pay tax on it too.
Yep.
So let's just say out of that 20
Yep.
million that you paid, okay? And if you are found guilty of certain criminal offenses, you can't even write off the legal fees.
Yep.
All right? So you got 20 million, let's just say tax, Let's just say after that 50 million, you have 30 million left. You already let 20 million go. You might have between 20 and 15 million. That's a lot. But not
right
if
there.
you don't know
It's
where
super
your next
raining.
paycheck's coming from. And you honestly don't know. And you're going to be on probation for the next 5 years. And that probation, they're probably not going to let you go overseas and do it.
People, for the next 50 months, Diddy ain't gonna have no income. Period. He's not gonna be able to generate nothing. He's gonna be in prison. So I told y'all, I've been telling y'all this for months. Even though Diddy got 50 months, he might do 3 years, but that's long enough to ruin Diddy. He's already ruined people. Just like he ruined a whole lot of people's lives. Now it's time for his to be ruined. And it is. So it couldn't have happened to a nicer creep. I have zero sympathy and remorse for Mr. Diddy. Zero. And all the rest of his buddies that's just like him. That's going to be eventually put on the hug, love, offender list. Where they were hugging and doing all kind of stuff illegally. So his life is going to be pretty much ruined because once he get out, nobody's going to trust him. He's not going to be able to get no deals with nobody. Not being a huggy offender. Who's going to deal with people like that? So he's ruined. Whether y'all believe that or not, Mr. Diddy is ruined. He'll never be the same. And he knows it. That's why he's crying. He know he ain't going to be the same. Judge, I just want you to, you just give me, I put up with any sentence that you hand out, any punishment. Fool, you ain't got no choice. You could have said that, bro. He already know you're going to accept whatever punishment he gives you. You ain't got no choice. What choice do you have? None. But what you doing now? Crying. So it is what it is. I don't feel sorry. Period. At all.
For Bad Boy reunion tour. What am I trying to say? They are now saying that Diddy is looking at whether he's even going to spend the money on the appeal. Because does he have the money to spend $5 million, maybe $8 million on an appeal? Appeals are notoriously expensive.
He don't.
On an appeal. To go through all this again. And what will the appeal do? Maybe get you out 5 months early? Now, depending on what jail he goes to, because you know Judge Aaron said no, that 5 months might be the world to Diddy. Okay? But if you know that you have a fixed amount of money, and you don't know when your next dollar is coming in, and you know you got a whole world of bills and expenses, and maybe get down to your last 15 million, which is a lot.
Would you be happy if you stayed
y'all.
where you are in life and job forever? If they
Let me ask y'all something. If you were Diddy and you was facing charges and you waiting on your sentencing, would you book any kind of engagement? Any kind of engagement? Would you book that before the judge can even sentence you? That's arrogance, people. Arrogance. But sometimes arrogance is your own worst enemy. It's your own worst enemy, people. Your ego and your arrogance will be your downfall. Not to mention all the criminal stuff you got going on. So, Mr. Diddy, I know you some crying. I told y'all, no use in crying. He wasn't crying when he was assaulting those people. It's making them cry. So now, it's time for you to cry, bro. No sympathy at all for him. None. At all. Not from Funneybone.
Something that maybe at best could get you out maybe 5-6 months early at best. Because again, most appeals, the earliest you can be heard with an appeal is a year. Most appeals get heard after 2 years. Yeah, it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. Anyway, you guys, listen, shout out to Diddy. I hope the MDC is treating him well. He said he into gang violence and everybody gets along, and he said he's changing lives with free game with Diddy. So I guess he's busy doing the Lord's work. All he need to do is, listen, put on a lace front. He already wanted to be all the girls he tortured. All he need to do is put a lace front on, clip it till it's like a nice bob hitting those shoulders, and he can be the Jesus of the...
Let me ask y'all a question. What gang violence did Diddy stop? That's what I want to know. What gang violence? He talking about the gang in prison, in MDC? He ain't stopped nothing over there. He got beat up over there. How he stop something? So we know that's a lie. He done stop gang violence. Okay, the gang stopped fighting, and watch you fight then. You saying you stopped gang violence when you was free? When you was beating those women up? At the same time, you was stopping gang violence. Who in the world believe that? Huh? My granddaughter wouldn't even believe that. He stopped gang violence. Yeah, right. How you had time, all that fighting and all the illegal stuff you were doing, how you had time to stop gang violence? Ridiculous, people.
MDC freeing people from their sins. But all jokes aside, listen, I know Diddy's going through it. The judge said, nah, you're not going to Fort Dix, but I'll send you to another prison in the New York area. Diddy is not going for that. He wants to be in Fort Dix, I think, because he doesn't want to be shaken down. I think he doesn't want to be extorted. I think he wants to be in Fort Dix for protection. But regardless, yeah, Diddy's team should have just quietly filed an appeal instead of trying to disrespect Judge Aaron out on the courthouse. Because, see, here's the thing. Judge Aaron can send Diddy anywhere he wants. And it's legally protected. Sometimes you just get, I don't know. I think that was a dumb move. But then again, now it makes sense why they were cursing Diddy out on the steps of the courthouse. Cursing Judge Aaron out on the steps of the courthouse. Because they had took $20 million from this fool, estimated.
Well, one of the reasons that people love
he still has to serve.
It'll end up serving, assuming he gets time off for good behavior.
It all makes sense
okay?
now.
They said for good behavior, you can take a year, take 2 months off of each year, so every year you count it as 10 months, right?
And changed it in their phone.
So he'll end up serving someone between 20.
Because for a second I thought they had Diddy saved in their phone as Food Ninja, because they was eating off of him. But now I can, I guess they'll change it to take the money in advance, because Mr. Combs might be broke soon enough. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments.
People, I'm gonna finish this up by saying I've been telling y'all for months, even when Diddy got arrested, I was telling y'all Diddy is not gonna be the same, because I think it's gonna be some more charges coming for Mr. Diddy. Funneybone thinks, just like a lot of journalists, that it's going to be some more coming for Diddy before he can serve his time. That's what I believe. So people, like I said, I don't feel no kind of remorse for Diddy. Absolutely none. I don't. So, people, I'm going to leave y'all with a snippet of one of the songs that I like. Just a sample. And I'll be doing that from time to time. So people, Funneybone is out of here. Y'all have a good morning, a good day. Y'all like, comment, subscribe. Make sure y'all hit the thumbs up. Make sure y'all subscribe. When you subscribe, hit that all content bell. And you'll be locked in to Funneybone. Because Funneybone gonna bring a whole lot to you people in a whole lot of ways. So, Funneybone, love y'all. Peace. Peace, people. And let me know what y'all think about this Diddy fiasco. Let me know. Funneybone out. See y'all later.